TNT Sports presents the ARCA Re Series. A 25-race season that began in Daytona back in February concludes today with 41 drivers chasing victory on one of the sport's fastest tracks, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The championship's already secured, but what everybody wants is to head into the winter off a final victory, a win to savor over the months spent rebuilding for next spring. Add to that the chance to show off in front of the assembled Winston Cup team owners and sponsors, and a victory payoff could go far beyond the winner's purse. Let's go to pit road. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, on Thursday afternoon, Frank Kimmel captured his 11th pole of the 2001 ARCA Series, a year in which he's already won the championship, 10 races, and as we said, his 11th pole of the season on Thursday. So can you match that total of 11 poles with your 11th win today, Frank?
We're really going to try. The Advanced Auto Parts Ford's been great all weekend, just really running good. And, you know, these guys are tough, though. Kerry's going to be running hard. Tim, Jason, all the guys have really been working hard. And we tried to do that Winston Cup thing again. That's probably put us a little bit behind on the ARCA deal. I hate that. But she's running really good. I think Mabel's going to be good today.
And they have not won since Toledo in September. They want to close out this championship year with a win. Today, Burns.
Marty, Kerry Earnhardt has seen a full range of emotions this year, from despair in February when he lost his father to jubilation in June when he won the race at Michigan. And then what could only be confusion at Charlotte when he won the race but lost his friend and fellow competitor Blaze Alexander. In his first start since that tragic day, Kerry Earnhardt will start his car in the number 3 position. Matt?
Dave, 2001 has been a season of firsts for young Stuart Kirby. Back in February, he made his first start in Daytona on a track longer than a half mile. Today marks his first Atlanta start. He qualified second, but on a second lap of qualifying, he lost his engine, forcing a motor change. Now the 75 machine will have to drop to the back of the field as the rookie chases another first in the last race of the season, his first career ARCA victory. To Liz Allison.
And Shane Mill is getting his very first ARCA start here today at Atlanta. It was announced this week that he will run 10 races in the Busch Series next year with his teammate Kenny Wallace. He's hoping to gain some valuable experience here today at Atlanta, and he starts an impressive 5th. Alan?
All right, Liz, thank you. Joining Benny and I for the call of today's race, Michael Waltrip, sitting in for Wally, who's off at a family wedding today. What's with the tie?
Man, that's a memo I got. Y'all said bring a tie, wear it, sport it, wine and cheese, and all kinds of food for us in the booth, and I haven't seen any evidence of any of that stuff happening.
There may be some wine in today, but not a lot of cheese or food. No.
Darn.
Benny, let's talk about the race today. This Atlanta Motor Speedway is the fastest track these stock cars race with the engine restrictions at Daytona and Talladega. How does that factor in?
It's a great racetrack to race on because there is no defined groove. These guys don't have to go in the corner and worry about get to the bottom of the racetrack. They can go in the corner and run the middle of the racetrack. And before the day is over, we'll see the cars at the very top of the racetrack. It's also a great racetrack for these guys to learn on, Michael.
With the speeds that these guys run here, Mike, a lot of inexperience in the field. Do they belong here? Is this a good track for these guys to be learning on?
80% of the guys, yes, they belong here. They're in quality equipment. They can do the job. They're just learning, crafting their skills, and one day hope to move into Winston Cup. You look at the bottom of the field, though, Alan, there's 20 miles an hour that separate the slowest qualified car in the race today and the winner. I mean, and the guy on the pole. So just watch Stuart Kirby. When he takes his little hot rod to the back of the pack and starts mingling with those cats that qualified 25 miles or 30 miles an hour slower than he did, those guys got to look in the mirror and watch where they're going at the same time.
I need something to stand on.
I can fix that.
Could you help me out there, please? Thank you. Now I don't feel quite so inadequate. When we come back, the opening ceremony for today's ARCA Re Series season finale. We'll be back after this.
Look, this is a dirty fuel injector. This is a clean one. As you can see, cleaner works better. That's why I use STP fuel injector cleaner in my car. I add STP every time I change my oil. STP, it's basic car maintenance.
She's not your daughter. But if you give her a ride home after school, she might as well be. Carpooling on the wings of Goodyear.
Buying or selling a home can mean the weight of the world on your shoulders. A RE/MAX agent can lighten that load. Averaging more than 13 years experience, RE/MAX agents have the knowledge and expertise to free you of paperwork and do everything in their power to make hassles disappear. Our agents work the kind of practical magic that lets you take your life to the next level. When you're ready to buy or sell, call RE/MAX.
Store up on great holiday gifts at Pep Boys. Get custom alloy wheels from only $49 each and add a set of 40,000-mile truck tires from just $49.99 each. Get your holiday gifts now at Pep Boys. Store up on great holiday gifts at Pep Boys. Buy a Delta aluminum toolbox, a Weston grill guard or step bar, or some cool performance accessories like these slick APC taillights. Get your holiday gifts now at Pep Boys.
Look, this is a dirty fuel injector. This is a clean one. As you can see, cleaner works better. That's why I use STP fuel injector cleaner in my car. I add STP every time I change my oil. STP, it's basic car maintenance.
From Atlanta is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. By Goodyear, on the wings of Goodyear. And by Pep Boys. All you need to know is where to go, Pep Boys. We are just minutes from the green flag at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the ARCA season finale. Now let's go trackside for today's opening ceremony.
Pastor of the Boylan Baptist Church in Peachtree City, Pastor Keith Moore.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we pray to you because we believe you are the Lord God Almighty, the one who is all-powerful, the one that we can entrust our lives and eternities to. We honor you and give thanks to you for this beautiful day. We pray for your protection for these drivers, for all of the crew. We pray for your peace of mind and heart for all of their families and for all of these fans. We thank you that you are the provider of joy, and we pray that this day would be a gift from you that we richly enjoy and that everyone in this arena gives thanks to you for. We thank you for these things. We pray for our country. We pray for our president. We pray for the men and the women in this time of conflict who are in harm's way, who could not be here for such an enjoyable day. And it's in Christ's name that we pray. Amen.
And now for today's national anthem, Miss Regina Alexander.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, overhead, the T-38 Talons from the 50th Flying Training Squadron and Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi. Flight lead today, Mark Sadler from Nashville, Tennessee. Once again, a big hand for Regina Alexander and our national anthem. And now for the most famous words in motorsports, our Grand Marshal, Miss Sharon Edding.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The final checkered flag of the season and bragging rights for the winner are on the line. The starting lineup and green flag are next from Atlanta. They've just rolled off the pit lane onto the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the parade and pace laps before the start of today's season finale for the ARCA Re Series. And let's take a look at the Castrol Syntex starting grid for today's race. ARCA champion Frank Kimmel qualified on the pole, looking for his 11th win this season. Stuart Kirby, as you heard earlier, made an engine change, has to drop to the end of the line. Row number 2, it's Kerry Earnhardt, 2 wins in 4 tries this season, and Damon Lusk, a best finish of 7th at Pocono.
On the inside of row 3 is Shane Meal. This is Steve Meal's son in his first ARCA start. On the outside, Tim Steele, 3-time Atlanta winner, has 4 wins this season. On the inside of row 4, Jason Jarrett. This is Dale's son, Bill Conger, on the outside.
5th row, Chase Montgomery, an 18-year-old from Nashville, considered to be a hot rising prospect. And Billy Venturini, son of the former ARCA champion. Best finish was a 3rd at Kentucky. Ed Berrier won at Chicago. Back in the month of August, he starts in row number 6. Richard Mitchell, former NASCAR regional champion out of West Virginia, is alongside.
On the inside of row 7, Shelby Howard, 16 years old, has 4 ARCA starts, 2 6th-place finishes. Robert Burrows out of Mississippi on the outside. On the inside of row 8, Andy Belmont and Jason Hedleski.
9th row, Rick Tennis of Minnesota, get a 9th at Michigan as his season's best, and local driver Doug Stevens from just up the road in Lovejoy, Georgia. His Atlanta debut, Mark Gibson, the series veteran, goes from row number 10 alongside Justin Labonte.
Let's try talking to Justin Labonte. Justin, Benny Parsons at TNT, you got me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Has Grandpa Bob got that car ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. We didn't have a good qualifying effort, but it was really good yesterday in practice, and we're just going to have to run as hard as we can and stay out of trouble all day.
Well, last year you started about, I think, 37th and finished 2nd, so you're starting at least up in the 20th spot. Maybe you can work your way all the way to the front.
Yeah, I hope so. We're going to give it our best shot.
Good luck to you.
Justin Labonte, son of 2-time Winston Cup champ Terry, going to go from 20th position today in the number 4 car. We continue to look at the rest of the starting grid. Now back to some of those who took provisionals to get into the race. And while we look at the end of the field, a lot of drivers you're going to see pulling out a line, dropping to the end of the line. The white car you see on the right of your screen was Stuart Kirby, who was supposed to start in the front row. He goes to the end for changing engines. This is the rule that ARCA has now that NASCAR Winston Cup will be running under next season.
And Michael, we might be seeing a lot of that next year. Start of the race in NASCAR Winston Cup, a bunch of guys moving out and going to the back.
Well, as the rules, we don't know what the rules are going to offer us yet. We don't know how people are going to attack it, what's going to happen in practice and so forth. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out. The Busch Series has been doing that for a little while. ARCA now is doing it. And a couple guys wrecked in the final practice, too, Alan, the reason why they're going to the back.
Yep, Mike Buckley in the 28 car, Greg Sarf in the 38, both wrecked in final practice. They go to the back. Carl McCormick in the 60. Jacksonville, Florida driver, he was in a wreck in the final practice. He goes to the back. And Shane Lewis was in a wreck in the final practice. He's got to go to the back, too.
And this is where I was telling you about. I mean, it'll be interesting to watch that 75 car back there with those cats that qualified so slow. They're moving chicanes out there. He's not going to know whether to zig or zag. He's going to have his hands full getting through the first 10 or 12 cars and getting a comfort zone once he gets up through there.
Last lap before the start. Let's go get some stories from pit road. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Alan, without a ride for the season finale here in Atlanta, young Damon Lusk had not even planned on coming to Atlanta. But all that changed on Tuesday when the 22 Dynatech team called to inquire about his services. So with helmet in hand, he came to Atlanta and qualified 4th. Now he looks to continue to impress and have a strong run today to try to lock down this ride full-time for next season. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, as Benny Parsons said a moment ago, Tim still has 4 wins in the ARCA Series this year, 2 in this car he's driving today. But after the last win at Pocono, friend of the team, Michael McSwain, Ricky Rudd's crew chief, came by and said, you you guys need to fix the body on that car. I can't believe you could win with that thing. So they redid the entire body on the car. The results, Tim said, are amazing. Much more balance and a faster race car. To Dave Burns.
One of the cars that will start at the back is a 13 car of Shane Lewis, Marty. He lost a motor in final practice, and he took out Carl McCormick and his teammate Greg Sarf. So he took the motor from Sarf's car, put it in his car, and left Sarf to find another ride. They're both in the race. Both will start at the rear of the field. Liz?
And you want to talk about young guns? Shelby Howard turned 16 years old in July, making him the very youngest driver ever to start in an ARCA race. He's looking to run this series full-time next year, and he is ready to go today. He starts 13th. Alan?
All right, Liz, thank you. This is a 400-kilometer race. It's 249 miles. That's 162 laps around the 1.54-mile Atlanta Motor Speedway. Season finale set to go. Frank Kimmel, the series champion, leads the field down for the start.
Looked like Frank Kimmel had a little bit too much horsepower when they threw the green flag. He's spun the rear tires, but he's got just enough as he comes off turn 4, trying to take the lead.
Kimmel in the 46, Damon Lusk in the 22, and Kerry Earnhardt in the Black Deuce.
They work to the inside of the 22 car. Kimmel clears him. Kerry's going to drive up underneath of him now. It's real critical, Benny, when you enter these turns side to side, and not a lot of experience. You got to be careful what you're doing as you dive down in the corner. The car on the bottom wants to get loose with you. Kerry clears the 22 as they enter turn 3.
So Kimmel to the lead. Kerry Earnhardt to second. Now the challenge for third as Lusk continues to slide up. Here comes Tim Steele in the 16.
Whoa. Trouble.
Oh, and the black car is Shane Neal, the 55 car.
And just behind them, Jason Jarrett in that purple number 67.
My buddy Stuart Kirby is marching, Alan. He's already picked off 18 of them.
Here comes Shane Neal in the 55. Got it. Got Jason Jarrett.
Those cars want to push off that second turn. That's what we'll be watching all day long as they exit turn 2. The front end really wants to get away from them over there, so they'll have to watch that. That's a critical area of the track as far as handling. 3 and 4 is more sweeping. It's easier to come off turn 4 in a straight line, but when you come off turn 2 over there with a straight back straightaway, it really tightens up.
Fourth place for Shane Neal, got by Tim Steele.
That is unbelievable. And I told the crew told me this morning that Shane Neal's father, Steve, is his spotter today. That's got to be hard to do. Up there spotting for your son, watching him.
And I guarantee you, Steve is more nervous than Shane is out there racing.
I know that's for sure. Shane just wants to go. He's not nervous about anything. Told his daddy all day yesterday, my car's too tight, my car's too tight. His dad said, well, we're going to leave it that way. And looks like so far, 5 laps into the race here, he's on his way to the front.
Good job, man. 1 car length at a time. 1 car length at a time. Slow car on the bottom of 1.
That is Steve talking to his son.
You can see there's Tim Steele already starting to work up the hill. Shane's able to keep his car down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Just line up behind him. 1 car at a time, buddy. And you're clear and low. Another slow car. Probably catch him off of 4.
Steve has been real busy trying to keep up with what's going on for his son, Shane.
Now, there is a minimum speed that you have to run, and some of the cars on the track are not meeting it, and they are being black flagged by ARCA officials.
And that is only good. I mean, you want to get experience, but that's not good experience. You got to get good experience, and if you're running around there that slow, just trying to stay out of the way, you need to be parked, and ARCA's doing the right thing there and carrying that out.
60 car of Carl McCormick and the 3 car of Todd Antropin have both been black flagged for not being up to the minimum speed. And we watch this ongoing fight for third spot. It's all behind Frank Kimmel and Kerry Earnhardt, the early leaders here in Atlanta. The ARCA Remax Series season finale at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Beginning our coverage of the weekend today. Tomorrow, it's the Napa 500 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the pole. Jeff Gordon could wrap up the championship in our coverage on NBC starting at noon Eastern Time.
This is Frank Kimmel, their leader, and on board with him as we look out the back of his car. The black car you see behind him is Kerry Earnhardt. He's the second place vehicle.
He was up beside Frank a minute ago, Benny, when we were at break. He got all the way up beside him, but a slow car got in the way. Kerry wisely backed off and decided he'd resume that battle later. Frank's been able to stretch it out a little bit. Another good battle in the tracks against Shane Mill and Tim Steele. They both got around Damon Lusk and moved up.
What a season for Kimmel. 24 starts, 10 wins, 20 top fives, and let's check on Stuart Kirby.
Stuart's been a busy young man.
He is currently running 11th position after starting at the very rear.
And his times have been really impressive, too. He's not only, he hadn't just moved through some cars that were slower than him, he's been able to keep pace at times with the leaders. So he'll be a factor before the day's over. We knew that going in. If he could just clear that early traffic he was going to be faced with.
That 53 car, the purple and orange and yellow machine, is Robert Burrows, the veteran out of Mississippi, who has just given up the 10th spot to Stuart Kirby. And now he goes from racing Burrows, who is a 48-year-old veteran, to that 6 car, who's an 18-year-old rookie.
Chase Montgomery out of, well, Nashville, Tennessee, really.
Mount Juliet.
Yes, sir. Up there where DW hangs out. Stewart's got a good run on Chase right up off the bottom of the second turn. If you can get your car to work down there, Benny, like I said earlier, it's a big advantage because a lot of cars won't stick there. They want to wash up high. And these ARCA guys don't have the experience to take the car up to the top of the racetrack and feel around for a groove a lot of times. They just need to stay right on the bottom, and if they're good enough to get their cars working there, then that's all right. But if it starts pushing down there, you see them really lose a lot of time.
7 starts this season for Stuart Kirby, driving that 75 car for Bob Shack. Well, let's check 5th here.
It's a 91 car, Ed Barrier.
Racing Ed winning that car at Chicago earlier in the year.
Right. Trying to get by Damon Lusk in 22.
Damon's starting to search around a little bit, seeing that he was getting beat on the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of cars have been able to make their way around him, so he's wandered up high and checked things out.
Barrier making his 10th start of the season. The win came at Chicago. We talked about that earlier. And the pass there completed. 5th place.
'61 car trying to take the spot away is Bill Conger.
So Damon hadn't been able to keep that car on the bottom of the racetrack right from the start. So that 22 car's not handling well.
Jason's also struggled too early in the going here. You're seeing there in the purple car that at the 75, Stuart Kirby just cleared.
Matt, what's going on with Jason Jarrett?
BP, I checked with his crew chief, Scott Eldridge. He tells me that Jason says his car is cushy loose, but he's more concerned with the car being on the tight side. They won't pit for at least another 20 laps, and Scott did tell me this morning that they are concerned about left side tire wear, especially the left front. It felt like the tires on the left side were wore out, almost showing the cords at around 35 laps, so that's when they're looking to make their first pit stop this afternoon.
Benny, we got a radio. Just call him up and ask him what's going on.
Oh, trouble.
Oh, Ed Barrett. No, that's
Billy Venerini. 25 car. Wow, big crash. Any crash here in Atlanta is big.
You're on fire in the back, so hold on a second. And looks like you're clear.
Tough break for Billy.
Yeah, he's fighting his way out of that car. I tell you what I do, Alan, at my shop, I put on my Hans and all my stuff, and I practice getting out of my car. And that's something that you really need to be conscious of, that once you get all that stuff on, it's not as easy to get out, even if you have plenty of room as you might think.
I talked about it Talladega. You know, he has Jack Nicklaus golf on this thing, and Talladega crashed, and I said, there's a triple bogey. That might be a quadruple bogey there.
Yeah, that part of that car that you can't read the quarter panels on anymore was from Jack Nicklaus Golf. And Billy and his dad, Bill, the former ARCA champ, very pumped up about having signed sponsorship with that company to run next season in the ARCA Series.
You can see the golden bear there on the hood. You can't see the golden bear on the rear quarter panels, however.
I don't know if there was contact between the 64 car of Shelby Howard and Venturini or not.
It's a good question, Benny. We just didn't quite catch it in time to see. They were close together, though.
If there was, Billy will let us know.
Yes.
He does not mince words in his interviews.
And if there wasn't, you know, possibly he could have just gotten up under him and taken some of the air away from the back of the car. That makes the car get very loose if a guy gets right on you going into the corner. He might have just disturbed the aerodynamics of that number 25 car and wound up losing control. But this will be a good time, too. I mean, we're only 18, 20 laps into the race. What do you think, BP? Do they worry about the tires yet? We've heard some concerns from pit road about the wear.
If they're concerned at all about the wear, and Frank Kimmel this morning when I walked by, Bill Kimmel, his brother and crew chief, was making some big camber changes to this 46 car because of the tire wear. So I would think, not knowing exactly what they have, they will stop, change tires just to check the wear.
Well, that's what I thought.
Well, let's find out. Pit road is open this time.
Well, you see, right now it's closed. We'll see. Should be open this time, by.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's the green flag.
All right.
And here they come.
Leaders in. Second place in.
This is just a great opportunity, 20 laps into the race, just to check your tires out, see what you got, how the wear is going to be on race day. So I imagine all the front-running cars will take advantage of this opportunity.
Shane Beal stays out.
He does?
Yes, he does, but about everybody else is in. Matt?
And Jason Jarrett comes in 9th. We told you earlier he was complaining about his car being very tight, making it loose off the corner. They are going to make a track bar adjustment and go down 1 pound in both left side tires to Dave Burns.
Middle of the screen, Kerry Earnhardt starts in good, tight in the center and off. They will make a wedge adjustment. They've already done that. 4 tires and fuel for Earnhardt. Marty?
Frank Kimmel on the top of the screen. The leader a little bit tight, a ½ pound into the right rear. Very happy, though, as the 2001 champ. Behind him, Tim Steele on the bottom of your screen. Very loose off for Tim Steele. 2 rounds out of the right rear of Wedge. 2 pounds out of the right rear tire. And Kerry Earnhardt beats everybody off pit road.
Benny, check out that line. See where the cone is?
Yeah.
They've moved the end of pit road, the scoring line, all the way out to where the cone is on that last white line. They did that to take away some of the advantage of that having that last pit. You saw.
That's the old one, right?
Right. Now we're all the way up to here when we score the cars off pit road. And we saw the number 6, the 46 car was in this end pit right here, and he moved off of pit road, but he didn't get up to speed to get to this line before Kerry got there. So already that new rule.
Let me correct you on one thing, though, Mike. That's actually only half correct. The line where the cones are, follow along. The line where the cones are, this one, that's the line that pit road speed goes to. But there's actually a line right inside that shadow you can't see. Right there, those are the cameras that score you leaving pit road. That's the line where you're scored leaving pit road. But the other line, and there's the view right there. See at the end of the grass?
Well, I know it had moved out to take some of the advantage away from having that last pit.
So this is...
So we got 2 lines, basically.
And you can see the shadow across the track. That is the line that they score the cars at.
The other one where the cones are, that's where the pit road speed limit goes to now as a reaction to what happened in that terrible pit road accident during the Winston Cup race at Miami last week. 1 lap away from the restart here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is the Pork the Other White Meat 400 season finale for the ARCA series.
All right.
Mikey Waltrip sitting in for Wally today. We decided to put together a little montage for you, Mike. We call this Mikey's Greatest Hits.
Well, I'm not sure Mikey's going to like this.
Uh-oh. I see what you mean by hits now.
Oh, no. He hit me.
This is the best one.
You know what my mom said? That's a heck of a position you got yourself into there.
Yes, it was.
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
You know, let's see. We at least got him to loosen the tie a little bit up here anyway.
But I tell you, that Michigan deal, when sitting there with the left side against the wall on fire, that scared us all.
Well, I had no idea I could get out the right side.
Exactly.
I never tried. I just looked over there and say, no way, I wouldn't make it through there. But then then after looking at a concrete wall that was taller than me, right next to me, I said, I got to shoot out the right, and made it across there okay. Pretty nice exit. Don't care to do it again.
No, don't do that anymore.
Pit summary after the stops. 5 drivers did not come onto pit road, which is why Kerry Earnhardt has wound up back in 6th place. That's our U.S. Army pit summary. The 5 who did not stop, headed by Shane Meal, who is the new leader. How about that call?
That's cool. I don't understand exactly if they were worried about tire wear, why they didn't take advantage of checking them out, but obviously Steve Meal and the crew there for Shane wasn't worried about tire wear. They decided they'd just hang with it. And his car was fast. His times on his last few laps before the caution were as fast as the leaders, so. Matt, why did he stop? You got any idea?
Well, Mikey, I talked to his crew chief, Jerry Kennan. I said, why'd you guys stay out? He goes, why pit? Car's good. We're going to stick to our original schedule and pit somewhere around lap 55 to 60.
There you have it.
Frank Himmel in the 46 and Tim Steele in the 16 are in 7th and 8th behind that 55 car. Shane Meal, who's your leader?
Donnie Morlock is shot out in front of Shane, trying to regain a lost lap.
He was 2 laps down, so he's on the tail end of that now. There's Tim Steele. Running in 7th and trying to keep up with Frank Himmel and Kerry Earnhardt back through the traffic. The leader is Shane Meal. 2nd is Bill Conger in the 61. The 90 car of Jason Hudleski is 3rd. 39 car of Rick Tennis is 4th. Was 4th as Kerry Earnhardt's just gone by him. And the other car that did not stop on the caution was Doug Stevens in the 71.
I believe we'll see those fresh tires make a difference, Benny, but Shane Meal and those guys have gotten off to a nice lead.
There we see Stuart Kirby, the 75 car. He did make a pit stop. He did change tires, and currently in 8th position. Dave Burns.
And those tires look very good according to his crew, Benny. They didn't plan to come in that time. In fact,
spin.
And we got to spin on the track.
65 car, Vern Slaw has taken a little broad slide through the corner.
Guess where that car came from? Winston Cup Garage.
Man, I don't know, Benny.
Just think a little bit, Michael. Think a little bit.
I just don't see it.
Obviously an ex-Tide ride.
So 2nd caution of the race as Shane Meal brings the field back to the start-finish line. And let's go check up on the driver involved in the first yellow. Liz is with Billy Venturini.
Billy, you took a hard knockout there. What happened?
Well, first I just want to take time to thank Jack Nicklaus, Golden Bear Golf, Bass Pro Shops, FNB, all my sponsors that made it possible for me to be here today. Next year I'm going to drive with a little chip on my shoulder. I don't care because half these guys in this series are idiots. Robert Burrows, he's a friend of mine, but drove like an idiot. I got under him twice and he come down and I had to back out of it. I get under him a 3rd time and I just was trying too hard to avoid him. Just the same thing as Kimmel. I just need to drive through these guys. I should go home and I don't care if I'm friends with them or not. I'm too nice of a driver to these guys. I'm going to just drive through them next year and their cars are going to sit here because I don't understand how they think. I'm 20 laps into the race. I'm under him 3 times and he keeps coming down. I get under him again. And he just runs me out of racetrack. It's just stupid, and there's a bunch of drivers in the series that just are selfish drivers, and I don't race like that. And I'm going to get in the Busch Series a little next year, and I hope that from what I see, they're a little more courteous and a little more professional in the way they handle their race cars. I'm just aggravated with half the guys in this series. I mean, there's a bunch of them that are really good race car drivers, and all of them are good guys. But good guys and good race car drivers don't mean the same thing.
Well, Billy started 10th, and he's behind the wall here, Alan.
Told you he'd tell us what he thought.
I think we're clear on how he saw things happening. But the main thing is, Benny, no matter how somebody else treats you, you can't wreck your own car because of something somebody else did to you. Keep yours straight, because right now Billy is out of the race, and the caddy was arguing about still on the road.
Keith Merck, 19 car, some big problems here too. We'll be back to Atlanta. Back in Atlanta, just in time to go back under the green flag.
Shane Meal gets a nice jump on the field. Clears the lap cars this time. The 15 of Donnie Morlock made one of his 2 laps up. Allen had a really fast car right then.
People had trouble getting going in the middle of the pack. Looks like everybody's going to get away okay.
And Kerry Earnhardt got a terrific restart in that 2 car. He's fought his way clear of all this heavy traffic.
There's Earnhardt trying to catch up to Bill Conger in that 61 to grab second place.
Looks like Kerry's going to make short work of Bill Conger. Dives to the inside. Marches right past him as they enter turn 1.
And Conger, he did not realize he was going to be that close. He jumped out of the accelerator when all of a sudden the 2 car was just inches from his door.
Just run your pace. We'll run him down. Just run your pace. Let's take care of yourself.
Ty Norris offering some words of encouragement to Kerry Earnhardt. That's his spotter, president of DEI. The guy that kind of runs things over there.
This is Frank Kimmel. He got around Jason Hedleski to pick up 4th spot.
And Steve, I'm sorry. The 16 car, Tim Steele, also has gotten by those cars and moved into the 5th position.
And here we go for 3rd place. Kimmel's through.
Is that the port cam?
That's the port cam. That's the other white meat.
Oh, check it out.
The battle for the lead. Hey.
He disposed of Shane Neal.
You didn't think Shane would fight him all that hard at this point, did you?
Well, he's probably, his dad's probably on the radio saying he's got fresh tires. Let's just pace ourselves here until we get our fresh tires and go up against them again.
So Kerry Earnhardt out in front. Now here comes Frank Kimmel.
Kimmel's on your back bumper. He's got to look low. He is low. He's low, buddy. Clear for a long ways.
So Kimmel to 2nd. Shane Neal back to 3rd. Matt?
You guys are exactly right, Michael. Shane Neal's dad, Steve, came on the radio and said, you run your race. He's coming, but let him go by you. Make him go around you. You just worry about your own line and your race and be patient. There's a long way to go.
How about that 75 car?
He is doing it, isn't he?
Just went past the 61 of Conger. Here comes Tim Steele to follow him through.
This kid, Stuart Kirby, 21 years old, out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, qualified for the Winston Cup race at Charlotte this past October. In fact, I think I qualified 20th, and he was 21st to 22nd. My sister-in-law, Wendy, came up to my wife, Buffy, and said, okay, who's the 12-year-old starting beside Mike? she was a little bit concerned that he was old enough to have a driver's license, let alone battle on these big Winston Cup and ARCA racetracks like he does. But golly, he's talented. He can really do a good job. He's won a lot of races back on the short tracks in Kentucky. He and his dad, Kevin, decided it was time for him to hit the big tracks, and he's just proven to be very competitive and very fast. And very smart, too. He always seems to keep his car up under him, does a nice job. That's important now. And as these guys try to get experience and learn, it's important not to be just a flash in the pan, a guy that can go fast, but keep your car under you so you can learn.
Dave Burns, how about it?
Well, and Alan, one of the things he's still working on as a young driver is getting off of pit road. I was hard to say before that last caution came out, and maybe we can get it in this time, that he was leaving. He came in for 2 tires, but when he was leaving pit road, he stalled the car twice and lost some of the ground they had made up, making only a 2-tire pit stop. So he's got that track position back now. He restarted in 8th, and he's all the way up to 3rd.
And Bob Shack, the owner of this 75 car that Stuart Kirby is driving, almost guaranteed me this morning that they would be leading the race by lap 75.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. When you say almost guaranteed you, is there like a bet?
No, he just said we will be leading the race by lap 75.
How about that?
And you saw that last lap, he ran 3 miles per hour faster than the leader.
He is 2.8 seconds behind Kerry Earnhardt right now. He's got 35 laps to get there.
And 2 tires compared to 4 for Kerry. So if he does it, I think we're looking at our favorite for the race today.
Check out our leaders. There's Kerry Earnhardt in the 2. And the bright orange 46 of Frank Kimmel behind him by 0.8 of a second.
Frank's been able to keep the pace, though. Once Kerry cleared him, he's stayed right with him.
As a matter of fact, the last time by, Frank Kimmel was 2 miles per hour faster than Kerry Earnhardt. and both those cars were faster than Stuart Kirby. So it may be those two tires that Stuart Kirby put on are starting to show up, and he doesn't have the advantage that he hoped to have.
Let's go back and check on 10th place. The 90 is Jason Hudleski in a Junie Donlevy car, and he's being chased by Jason Jarrett in that purple 67.
The 21 cars, Todd Boucher, they're going by.
And the one machine is Andy Belmont. That's the AOL car.
Oh, close.
Give me a break, brother.
With a moment there.
He was able to ruffle Jason up a little bit there in the middle of the corner. You saw that, and Jason slid high, and Andy came on around. Is that Robert Burrows looking to the inside?
Yep.
Oh. That's close racing, BP.
Very close racing.
And our 43rd lap is brought to you by STP Fuel Injector Cleaner. Andy Belmont having a good run, Marty.
He's got something pretty cool going on, too, Alan. His first ever helmet that he wore in a Winston Cup race at Dover 1989 is signed by a bunch of people, and he's auctioning it off at andybelmont.com, and the current bid is $6,500. It's signed by the greats like Richard Petty, caution on the racetrack. We'll get through this real quick. Alan Kowicki, Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison, even Michael Waltrip, but there's one problem. Wally Dallenbach signed it. I think that would bring the value down of the helmet. Don't you guys think so?
Oh, sure. Talk about Wally, and he ain't here. What kind of deal is that?
Caution's out. 7-car Brent Sherman has run into some problems.
It's like the engine has expired.
Car fielded by Mike Harmon out of the Birmingham, Alabama area. Mike, veteran of ARCA, Busch Racing, All-Pro Racing in NASCAR. And this was Brent's first super speedway race. He will not get much experience today.
We talked earlier when Vern Slaw spun down there in turn 3 and 4 that the 19 car got tore up from hitting the back of the 4 car. There's some bars and sheet metal hanging down out of the back of the 4 car. We might have to get one of our pit guys to go down there and check him out, see if he thinks that's a problem. You can see the left rear quarter panel there wrinkled up a little bit. And as the car passes by, see the bars in the back that are hanging down. They'll probably have to attend to that. What do you think, BP?
You're probably right.
That's Justin Labonte in the 4.
We talked to him on the radio just before the race started. His grandfather, Bob Labonte, Terry and Bobby's father, is his crew chief.
On the back there, whatever's hanging down.
Dave, what happened to 4?
Justin Labonte was checking up for that wreck with Billy Venturini, and the 19 car of Keith Mert got into the back of him so hard that Keith Mert is out of the race, pushed the radiator back into the motor. They've retired that car, and Justin soldiers on. I talked with their crew. They say they're okay, but not as good as they were.
All right, now then, Shane Neal, is he going to stop this time?
Yes. He's going to bring that to the pit road.
Let me throw this at you. New information. 1 to go at the line this time.
That'd be a good time to pit.
Yeah.
That wouldn't hurt anything.
We'll have plenty of time to catch up.
Have time to, well, there you go. Have time to stop and catch up.
That's a 1.5-mile track. That's no big deal. Shake.
Coming anyway.
Oh,
Come on, 3,600 now. 3,600 in second gear.
It's time they pit. We thought they would, didn't we, BP?
Tim Steele, Shane Meal.
Some of our leaders faked like they were going to pit. What was that all about?
I don't know.
That faking don't work. They're ahead of you. If they don't go on pit road, don't go with them. Matt, what's he doing?
Down here.
In discussions with his crew chief, Jerry Kinnan, he said the car had started to go to the tight side, but he said, I felt like that's because I was on old tires. And his father, Steve Neal, said, that's very smart, good way to think. No adjustments, just 4 new sticker tires for the 55 to Martin Snyder.
Tim still hits pit road, very loose again this time. Matt, he was loose on the run before. A lot of time on the right side. They're taking, had to wait on the left side tires. They put the left side tires on right now, but it looks like he will still win the race off pit road with 4 new tires and a wedge adjustment.
I just saw Shane Neal make his pit stop and stop about 20 pits too soon.
Stopping somebody else's pit.
Yeah, but you come down and you see all that maze of people, and it's hard to pick out your pit.
Especially, Shane's not a regular with that team. He probably doesn't even really know what all of them look like that good.
I love the radio we heard. Hey, we're down here. We're down here.
On board with Jason Jarrett as he makes his pit stop, tries to get back caught up with the field because they're going green, Matt.
Well, Benny, you remember when you first, as a rookie, come down pit road and you go, I can't remember what the pit road speed is. Well, Steve Meal said, don't worry, they're going to tell you as soon as you get to pit road. That's their responsibility. They will remind you. That's what they did.
Going back green, Kerry Earnhardt is your leader. Frank Kimmel is second. Stuart Kirby is third.
Check out the guys spinning their tires coming up to speed. That's guys that are on older tires. They're hot. They pick up the pebbles, the rubber that the tires wear off, and so you got to clean them off before you take off. And you can see their guys spinning their tires on the restart. Frank Kimmel looking to the bottom of the racetrack.
Boy, what a terrific run that Kimmel has gotten on the 2-car Kerry Earnhardt. But is it enough?
He stuffed it down in there, made the pass look relatively easy, BP.
Frank Kimmel out front. Third time today he has led. Kerry Earnhardt falls back to second. Dave?
Alan, he'd been reporting that the car will not stay on the bottom. If he tries to put it on the bottom, it pushes up off the corner. So that's not where it will run the best, and off of both turns 2 and turn 4. So right now the car pushing for Kerry Earnhardt.
Bit of a push.
But still hanging in there in second spot.
Well, see, if he's got that push, as soon as he can, he needs to move up the racetrack and try to find him a different line.
Yeah, again, Vinny, but these inexperienced drivers are not real comfortable coming up off the bottom of the racetrack, so it takes a little bit of getting used to run that line. And you might see it develop, but it could be later on in the race.
49 of 162 laps are complete in the ARCA Remax Series season finale at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking down on the Atlanta Motor Speedway, where TNT brings you the ARCA Remax Series season finale for 2001. Series champion Frank Kimmel is the leader. Budweiser.com Airship is bringing us our aerial views from Atlanta today. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Race fans, this Bud's for you.
And there's Frank Kimmel, the leader, by 2 seconds, but we have a battle for second spot. Stuart Kirby, the 75, has fought his way from the very back of the field and taken the lead. Second spot, I should say, from Kerry Earnhardt.
He's up to second, BP.
That's pretty impressive.
Got 20 laps to get to the lead like this car owner guaranteed you could do. Dave, what's going on down there?
Well, Michael, as you know, for a young driver, one of the things that can help them a lot is a lot of instruction from the experienced crew. And they told Stewart Kerry's car is going up the racetrack. We talked about Kerry's car being tight. They let Stewart know that he wanted to. He made the pass on the inside, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. So when the car went up the track, Stewart knew that was where he needed to make the pass.
6:55 and 16, racing for 7th spot. Chase Montgomery in the 6, Shane Meal in the 55.
Going around the 1 up there of Andy Belmont, too.
And Tim Steele in the 16.
Andy looked good on that long green flag run, but since going back here this time, he's been fading a little bit. Shane's looking to the inside.
So Chase Montgomery to 6th, and now Belmont.
You see what his car does. Take care of him.
Belmont and Shane Meal racing for 7th.
There you go. That's good.
Stay down, buddy. Stay down. Clear. Good job.
That was kind of a little look back at what.
Get better, though. It'll tighten up. Slow car on the bottom.
What Andy Belmont did to Jason Jarrett. Remember when he went in there kind of on his quarter panel and Jason wiggled? Andy got it back there.
Shane was telling his dad his car is loose. And
right.
He said, don't worry, it'll tighten up. And he's thinking to himself, I wish he would hurry.
Yeah, easy for Steve to say.
Yeah. How soon, Dad?
Yeah.
I like what Steve said, too. He told Shane, you see what the one car is doing. You see his weakness. Jump on him, get under him. And that's exactly what Shane did as he goes around Chase Montgomery now.
6th place. And through. Next car ahead for Shane Beal is that 22 car of Damon Lusk. Just ahead of him, the white and red machine.
These are all good race cars, Alan. Everybody talks about the ARCA circuit, whether the competition is where it needs to be or the cars are safe or as fast as they need to be. You can put the first 10 or 12 of these cars in any class you want. They're wonderful race cars, and you can see these guys, they're racing the heck out of them, too.
While we watch Shane Meal try and work his way around Damon Lusk, let's check with Liz Allison.
I talked to Shane this morning about him racing, and I asked him how long he's wanted to race, and he said, you know, I've always wanted to race, but at first I thought I wanted to be a crew member. Then I saw how much the crew members work, and I decided, no, I don't want to do that, so I guess I will just be a driver.
Wise choice, don't you think, Michael?
It looks like it right now. It's a very wise choice. A lot of talent there for Shane Meal. Everybody talks about what he's been able to accomplish in a short period of time. And
hell of a job. Clear high.
I think the point there is, though, what Shane was making is that you drivers have it easy.
Yeah, but some of us even take on second jobs like this. Come up here and I don't know if people realize what tough work this TV stuff is you do.
But you tell them just how tough we do work, Michael.
I'm on your side, Benny.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. So Shane Neal to 5th, Tim Steele to 6th. And Damon Lusk trying to hang on to that 22 car with Chase Montgomery on his bumper. Frank Kimmel is your leader here in Atlanta. Caution is out here in Atlanta as Carl McCormick, the car that Carl started, now being driven by Tim Mitchell. We had a couple driver changes in this thing already. Has brought out a caution flag.
Few driver changes, few cars dropped to the back. Few guys had to quit because they wasn't going fast enough. There's been a lot of excitement going on up here.
And there we see Tim Mitchell going turn 1, spins the car out. Did not hit the wall, thank goodness. I think the ARCA officials threw the caution flag just because the guys coming in the corner would not run into him. They'd back off the gas rather than going there wide open.
Caution, a bad break for Andy Belmont, who'd just been on the pit road under the green when the yellow came out.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He had been fading back through the field and finally decided he needed to come do something about it. Unfortunately, got trapped on pit road, lost a lap.
Belmont going to get tossed back to 22nd place, the last car, 1 lap down. So, leaders probably all come in here, huh?
They got to. What do you do after Shane Mill? His strategy is somewhat different than the leaders. He pitted after they did.
We're coming. In 4, we're going to come. I'm going to count you in now. Sorry, I didn't know the other guy had 48. I'll count you down now.
There you go. That was
Ask
Shane's
and
radio.
you shall find out. Shane Mill, Jared Kennan there, telling Shane to bring her on down, buddy, but stop in the right pit this time, right, Benny?
But see, there's another car out there with a 48 pit board, and he saw that, and their pit board is 48 because they're using the NASCAR Busch Series pit equipment, and they have a 48 rather than a 55 board. So he stopped at the first 48.
All right, let's see if he gets the right pit this time. Leaders are all in. Stops to come at lap 67.
Way on, about 8 away.
And let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And the 75 car of Stuart Kirby reporting in that his car was skaty, just sliding all over the racetrack. They're not going to make any adjustments on the 75, just 4 tires and fuel today.
4 tires, a wedge adjustment, and fuel for Kerry Earnhardt, plus someone to clean the windshield. Gnats everywhere for Kerry. To Marty.
Frank Kimmel, the leader, still a little bit tight, Dave. A pound out of the right front tire. That should loosen him up just a little bit. Bill Kimmel is his crew chief and brother. They were not happy with the last pit stop. He was very upset with the team. And again, they will lose the race off pit road. On this one was much faster.
Well, let's see. How do we recap all this? Kerry Earnhardt had some lug nuts fall off the right front on his car. Matt, what happened to the 75? They were there forever.
Alan, a lug nut fell off the left rear of the 75 car, Stuart Kirby, and then when they dropped the jack, he almost stalled the car again, leaving pit road.
Some troubles for a couple of front-running cars on their visits to pit road.
There was a combo of problems for this.
Oh, very good, very good. Frank Kimmel has been the dominator so far of the ARCA RE/MAX Series season finale. We're back to Atlanta in a minute. Lots of NBA action coming up this week on TBS and TNT. Tuesday night at 8 Eastern Time, the Charlotte Hornets take on Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards. Baron Davis, Jamal Mashburn, and the Bugs picked to do well this year, struggling in the early part of the season. MJ, well, let's see. He had his coldest game in recent memory, followed by a 44-point performance. Tuesday night at 8 on TBS. MBNA pit summary.
Once again, some cars did not pit. And look at this. Look at this.
Scramble.
There's that speed difference you were talking about at the very top of the show, Michael.
Those guys went every direction.
90 in the 1. Jason Hudleski and Andy Belmont, tail end of the lead lap. Maybe not for long.
Andy Belmont about lost the car going in turn 3 right under the leader.
Frank Kimmel in the 46. Back out in front.
Andy's not giving up, Denny. Andy's trying to explain to Frank that he needs a lap back. Whoa. That was close.
He had to get out of the gas there.
Golly. Now Frank's going to swing to the outside of the 90 car, Hudleski. Carries on the inside of Steele. There's stuff going on everywhere.
This is back for 4th place.
Here comes Stewart on around Steele as well. Ed Barrier's raced his way into the 3rd position. We got a wreck off 2.
Crash over the back straightaway. No caution yet. No caution yet.
26 car Brad Smith is looped around. Looks like we're going to stay under green.
I don't think anybody ever knew it.
ARCA officials did. I monitor their radio channel, and they had the spotters over there looking back and forth.
I mean, besides them.
Oh. well, we did. Kimmel leads. Shane Meal is 2nd. Kerry Earnhardt has taken 3rd. 4th is now the 75 of Stuart Kirby, and Ed Barrier in the 91 is 5th. A blue and black car, 91 is Barrier, and behind him here's Tim Steele.
Battle for 2nd spot. Earnhardt comes up, takes it away from the 55, Shane Meal. And now tries to get by the lap car of the 90, Jason Adleski.
Stuart Kirby's coming right along with him as well. You can see him there in the white car right on the bottom of the racetrack. Shane's car slipping up the hill this run. Kerry was able to get under him that way, and now Stewart's looking at the bottom, but Shane's going to change lanes, get by the 90, and hold off the 75.
I hope he knows he's there.
We'll battle it out in the middle of the corner. Don't worry about it. If he gets us, he gets us. We're in good shape.
Here he comes.
Check that out. That is really cool when you see a 21-year-old kid present of mind enough to just say, okay, thanks, Dad, for the information. It helps that Dad's smart enough to be pointing that stuff out, too.
Yep. So Kirby to 3rd, Shane Beal back to 4th.
We're on the 75th lap, and guess what? Bob Shack was wrong. He did not have the lead by the 75th lap.
But from about 38th, where he took the green flag,
not doing bad.
Not bad.
Look at Kerry. Looks like he's got his stuff dialed in a little bit better this stint.
Yeah, it looks like they made some pretty good adjustments on that car during that last pit stop.
He's heating old Frank up some here.
And old Frank's going to let him go.
It's like
perhaps, maybe not.
Perhaps Richie Gilmore and his boys have put some steam up under Kerry's hood. What do you think?
Looks that way.
Justin Labonte in the 4. 16 of Tim Steele. 22 of Damon Lusk. 6th, 7th, and 8th. Got the 53, Robert Burrows in there, mixing it up. He's 9th.
Robert's pretty cool. He'll go about anywhere, won't he?
And look at that 54 car. Richard Mitchell. All the way down the bottom.
Oh, I hope the 6th. They made it. Makes me nervous.
Now you know how we feel watching you guys on Sunday. It's kind of the first run of the race, Kerry was better than Frank. Second run, Frank was better than Kerry. Another set of tires, another pit stop, and it looks like it's back the other way.
It just appears to me right now that maybe Frank isn't quite as good as he was on that last run. Is it Frank better or worse, or Kerry better? Marty, got any idea?
Oh, trouble. Vern Slaw has hit the outside wall.
Straight away, caution.
That's on the backstretch.
Looks like, oh, keep it still, Vern. I don't like it when people let their cars roll like that.
Boy, why would you do that?
Well, I think he feels like it's safer out of the groove. I think is his thinking.
Jason Adleski's gotten a piece of it. Fifth caution of the race is out.
Try to drive it around, guys. Should I drive it around?
Yeah, Jason, bring it on back.
It's okay, Jason. Start rubbing that way.
Benny, you got him on your radio? Can you call him up?
Just rubbing it a little bit. 65 Sun guys came back across and hit him. Almost missed him, but I didn't want to drop it on the apron. I would have wrecked hard if I'd have done that. So, best I could. Sorry, guys.
And so the caution is out once again. Two-car accident off of turn number 2. We'll be back to Atlanta after this. Noon Eastern time tomorrow, the Napa 500 on NBC.
It's going to be a good one. Guys were all over the place in final practice this morning, running from the top of the track to the bottom. So you'll see a lot of distinct grooves tomorrow. Guys trying to find some grip in those Goodyear tires.
We are back underway. Frank Kimmel is the leader in the 46. The 2 of Kerry Earnhardt is second. And that white car, 75, of Stuart Kirby is third.
Here we go. Battle for the lead. Earnhardt is there. He's coming.
Whoa.
Frank just wanted to know it wasn't quite over yet. I'm still here, partner. Whoa.
Oh, no. What a move.
Frank turned her left and went back down underneath Kerry as they exited turn 2.
The 15 and the 1 are not on the lead lap. Third place car is the white one, the 75 of Kirby.
And the 75's thinking, yeah, you guys keep mixing it up. I'll be right there before you know it.
When that last caution came out, we were in the middle of getting a report from Marty about Frank Kimmel reporting that his car to his team was better on a longer run, so that he held off Kerry Earnhardt on those first couple of laps. Maybe that's good for him.
Yep, and you can see another guy here, Shane Neal, trying to go join that battle for those top 3 spots.
Shane Neal, the 55, currently in the 4th position.
Dave Burns.
Well, Alan, Kimmel being good on the restart now is not good for Kerry Earnhardt, because that is where Earnhardt was better. He radioed to his crew and said, I'm great at the get-go, but he says, I think the buildup in the right front tire is too fast, and I'm getting a push the longer I run. So the start was usually good for Kerry, longer worse. Now, Pierce Kimmel might have the upper hand, Marty.
And also what Frank said on the radio, besides that I'm good on the longer runs, is that I feel like I'm better through 1 and 2 than Kerry is. He's probably a little better than me through 3 and 4.
Well, that time it looked like it was about a draw through 3 and 4. Looks like it's about a draw
all the way around, right?
Yeah.
With perhaps a little bit of an edge going to Kerry down that back straightaway. But that could have everything to do with the fact that Kerry exits that corner well. You can see there, he's right on him. He'll probably peek out. Now he keeps it tucked in.
He gets that nose close enough to Kimmel's back bumper. The air might force Kimmel to chase it up the racetrack.
We're having a great race. That's what it's all about.
Just past halfway here in Atlanta.
Michael, when you won the ARCA race here, you didn't have just to worry about someone right on your bumper, did you?
No, the guy that was second was right on my bumper. He was right on my front bumper. I was getting ready to lap him. So it made for a better day.
Someone just handed me a note that the race you won here, you led 130 laps.
Yeah. Had a really dominant car that day. Back in 1987, didn't he? 14 years ago. Man. Here comes Kerry to the bottom of the racetrack.
New leader.
Then Frank lets him go this time. Frank kind of battled him last time. Maybe that was Frank saying, I think my car's better on the long run. If I can hold you off here on the short go, I believe I can handle you. But then Kerry never went away. So Frank, being the veteran that he is, might just simply be letting Kerry lead the race a little bit, see where he's strong at, size him up for later.
Fourth time today that Kerry Earnhardt has led. 16 laps he has paced the field. Kimmel has led 5 times for 59 laps. Others who have been out in front: Shane Neal for 13 laps, Rick Tennis for 3 laps, and Damon Lusk for 1.
And Shelby Howard's day appears to be done. He was in the pit area just a moment ago, has taken the car back out and is making that dreaded left-hand turn to the garage area.
16 years old, from Greenwood, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. His second super speedway race.
I think he did well.
Me too.
Something under the hood, or
he's 16, but he looks younger than that. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
What about Stuart Kirby?
Yeah. Same thing. Eighth place.
Chase Montgomery in that 6 car on the inside of Tim Steele. And here's another 18-year-old young man that's giving Tim Steele all he can handle here.
And hanging right with the winner at Chicago, Ed Barrier, there in the 19 car. You see Ed up on the top. Damon Lusk slipping by James Hilton's car there on the inside as they go down to the first turn. Chase also is went. Oh, golly, Chase ran right up on the back of Lusk. Benny, I got an idea of why all these young kids are turning up at these super speedways at such an early point in their career, and it's all because of TV. You know, everybody watches these races on TV at home. They want to be a part of it.
Yep.
When I was a kid, we used to have to drive in Mom and Dad's car down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and sit on the side of the road to hear Darrell race on the radio. Now, every channel you turn to on TV, you can find something out about stock car racing, and it just made it much popular, made more people aware of what we're doing and want to be a part of it.
While this is all going on, back for sixth place on down. Things are tightening up for second. Kerry Earnhardt's getting away from Frank Kimmel, and here comes Stuart Kirby.
And Justin Labonte has taken his car back behind the wall to the garage area. Looks like his day is over.
Justin finished second here in this race a year ago. Dave, what happened to him?
Yeah, I just checked with the crew, Alan. They said it's motor, and now we've got caution on the Speedway.
Donnie Morlock off the turn 2. It looks as if perhaps he's cut a right front tire, but he's got some contact on the left side too, Alan. Evidently he's gotten together with somebody. What do you think?
I vote for that.
Yeah, we haven't seen any tire problem all day long.
Be a pretty good bet.
Something definitely
sixth caution of the race.
Messed him up on the left side too. Well, it looked like when that caution flew, Kerry was on his way to making a run away from those guys. Let's see what happened to Donnie. Andy Belmont. Well, that was a fine how do you do.
Not too good, huh? Just did this car go by?
What'd you see there, BP?
Well, for some reason, Belmont in the one car got in the back of 15. I'm not sure why.
So,
that'd be cool.
Morlock is waving at somebody that he's...
I think he was motioning to those guys to get out of the opening because he was going to the garage area, where some other guys are, right, Liz?
That's right, and that's where Shelby Howard is. Shelby, what happened out there?
I'm not sure. We were having a pretty good run. Pit stops were going pretty good. I was learning a whole lot, and something in the motor started going bad in it. Not sure what it is, so we decided to go ahead and park it. No need tearing up anything worse than it already is.
Well, you're young, 16 years old. I guess this is part of the experience of the racetrack. But what have you learned here this weekend?
I've learned more this weekend than I've ever have in my whole racing career, probably. Just being around all the guys out there, racing with them, watching how they do things, how they pass, what the air does to the car, changes to make to the car. A little bit of everything I've learned this weekend, and looking forward to coming back to these places.
All righty, Alan?
His whole racing career, every 2 years of it.
Well, now, these kids starting with the go-karts and stuff, BP, you know?
Check it out. We're going to have another race on pit road here. It's always been interesting to see who can get off first. Kerry's had some trouble.
The leader is in, 4 tires and fuel, no changes. Kerry has the car right where he wants it. He doesn't want him to do a thing to it. They'll try to make an under 16-second stop and get him back out. Matt?
Just like the last stop, no changes for Stuart Kirby. Just 4 tires. He last pitted on lap 67 and said his car was a little bit tight. To Marty Snyder.
Frank Kimmel continues to say that it's too tight. Pound into the right rear tire, which should loosen him up. This appears to be a little bit longer of a stop. Having some trouble with the left rear. They have not won since Toledo in September, and they will not win the race off pit road here, trying to get win number 11. The 2001 Series champ loses lots of time on pit road.
I guess.
Good stop for Kerry Earnhardt's guys. They got him out, but it looked like Shane Mill beat him off pit road. That 48 crew, Jared Kennan-led team, they've done a nice job on pit road today. Got him out fast on a couple of occasions.
Well, Mike, we've got a camera right on that line.
Let's see what happened.
All right, let's see who's... And you were right.
Yeah, thought the 55 had gotten him. But Shane just hasn't shown the speed that Kerry's shown on the racetrack. Maybe they've adjusted the car and made it better.
So Shane Meal takes over the lead. We are under caution here in Atlanta on TNT. Watch the drama of golf on TNT as Tiger Woods looks to defend his title in the PGA Grand Slam of golf. Coverage begins Tuesday at 8 Eastern and Pacific on TNT.
I'm not sure what's in the front of the car that is strong enough to be banged on with a sledgehammer.
Maybe that's why Andy decided to go through that 15 car and sit around him. He knew he had some pretty serious stuff up there.
Evidently.
Chevy Ferland, our pit producer, came up during the caution when we were looking at that and said, I said 8 rounds of wedge, not sledge. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Road, though. We're getting ready to go back racing. Check these guys out. Let's see if they spin their tires or if they're able to get good starts. These starts have been exciting. They go every which way. The 39 must have a 100-gallon gas tank because they never pits. He just always starts first.
Green. Every time the leaders pit, Rick Tennis stays out. He's the leader once again. Not for long. See how long Kerry Earnhardt is patient behind Shane Neal also. 55 to the point. Neal.
Ed Barrios in third. Robert Burrows in fourth.
And give Tennis some credit. He got down out of the way. He knew those guys with faster cars and fresh tires were coming.
Wow, did you see that?
Shane saw it.
Yeah,
thankfully.
he did.
Shane decided he'd stay up a little bit and let Kerry on through. Kerry looked like he was serious about taking the lead going into turn 3.
So Kerry Earnhardt leads. Shane Neal is second. Ed Barrier third. Robert Burrows is fourth. And now Frank Kimmel is all the way back to fifth. That's him in that orange car working the bottom side of the track. Justin Labonte went out of the race a minute ago. Let's hear from him.
Justin, you started 20th and now you're back in the garage. A little engine problem?
Yeah, it blew up on us. We just got the car really handling good and we're moving up through the field a little bit, and then I guess it started blowing up after that caution and just went from there.
These guys are over and out for the day, Alan.
Argus, thanks. Stuart Kirby had the long pit stop under the caution, trying to pick his way back.
Trying to make up some lost time. He gets real close to getting that lead that Bob Schatt talked about, Benny, but he just can't quite get there.
Got the second spot the last time and made a pit stop. Now you see him, they're back struggling, trying to take over the 5th spot, but he does it.
He does. We've seen the bottom of the racetrack be where you need to be today. Nobody has made anything happen on the top. It's all been right around the bottom.
Is that an observation you're keen on knowing for tomorrow?
Oh, give him a break. Golly.
Kimmel just laying on the back bumper of Ed Barrier.
At 180 miles an hour, let me remind you.
Well, with Kerry Earnhardt having the lead, he knows he can't waste much time to try and keep up with him.
Kerry's opened a bit of a gap. Here comes the 75 of Stuart Kirby, right on by Ed Barrier as well.
That's 4th place. Not so fast.
Yeah, maybe I better retract that statement.
All right, he's got it now.
Yes, he does.
Michael, let me ask you a question. Could these Hoosier tires have a little more grip since they're the Goodyears, and that's why most of these cars are running on the very bottom?
I think they probably do. You know, a lot has been made of the Goodyear tires being harder this year. And we're seeing practice speeds in the final practice today for the Cup race tomorrow at over 32 seconds as we get out on our tires away. So I think it's a lot of fun these days. A lot of people have complained about the tires, but I think it's a lot of fun. It really makes it challenging to hunt out a line, find a line, and make your car handle in it. I think it makes for better racing, too.
I think the races this year have been better than last year with the harder tire. As you said, as the drivers try to find that perfect line around the speedway.
Plus, if you're trying to race around at 32 seconds flat, Benny, it makes more room. There's more room at a racetrack if you're running 32 seconds around it than if you're running 30 seconds around it. So it just seems to complement the competition. It brings everyone closer together, makes for better racing.
Sorry, I was just going to say 2nd, 3rd, and 4th there, Benny.
But Kerry Earnhardt is just driving away from these guys.
3 3/4 seconds is the gap from Earnhardt
back to there.
Shane's been able to hold those guys off behind him, but certainly no match for Kerry. He's drove off into the distance.
Hey, Dave, that 2 car is looking pretty good.
Well, and Benny, there are a couple things that might be helping him. They did make a slight air pressure adjustment on the right front to give him a little bit more grip turning, but Ty Norris, the spotter, also informed him after talking with Winston Cup driver Jerry Nadeau that there might be a little better line he could try. Maybe arc it into the corner a little bit. Don't drive it in quite so hard. He gave him that advice, telling Kerry also, I know you're doing a lot out there and you know how to drive this, but just FYI, in case you want to know, here's what Nadeau said.
Stuart Kirby going to try and take third from Frank Kimmel.
Gets it. Got it. Clear.
So after the last pit stop, Kimmel not quite performing as well as he had before. 51 laps to go. Here in Atlanta, in the ARCA Re Series season finale, Kerry Earnhardt is the leader. Looking down on the Atlanta Motor Speedway, where the ARCA Re Series season finale is ongoing, and looking down from the Budweiser.com airship. The aerial view is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Race fans, this Bud's for you.
Well, Robbie Cowart, the 5 car, is blown up. This is Delma's nephew out of Savannah.
What about Olivia Newton-John's nephew? He's in the race, too.
Yeah, Emerson,
he's made
20th spot. There he is, the green and white, number 35.
What about him? He's driven up into the top 20.
Frank Kimmel working his way through. Kimmel has just taken the 3rd spot away from Shane Meal.
Emerson Newton-John is from Beverly Hills, thank you, California. How do you think he got all into this ARCA racing?
That's Dick Bear's car. You know Dick Bear pretty well.
Yeah. Dick and I have a lot of history. We go way back.
All right, Matt, what's going on with the 55 car?
Well, BP, we touched on earlier that this innovative motorsports team that Shane's driving for is a Busch Series team that will compete for Shane 10 times next year, as well as Kenny Wallace. But they have a Busch Series mentality. Jerry Kinnan told me they're used to the tire rule in Busch. They only mounted up 3 sets of tires. They had to go and get another set of stickers mounted because they'd run out of sticker tires. They have a set of stickers now in their pit if they need them, but they can go the distance without stopping.
In NASCAR Busch Series rules, you can only change 2 or 3 sets during the day on caution flag, not the case in the ARCA Series. So.
Andy Belmont has taken the AOL car to the garage.
Andy, it's been a short day for you. Take us through what happened today.
Well, we just had a good car there, got up to about 8th. You know me, I brain fade qualifying, so we had to come from the back. But, you know, we got up to 8th, had a real good car, and I thought I felt a vibration. It's a brand new race car that, you know what, and then sure in the devil, we pit it, and the caution comes out next lap. So, but, and then we got behind, and then Racing Frank and those guys trying to get the lap back, and, you know, we got racing with some cars for position, and I dove under him coming off a 2 there, and, you know, I don't know if I come up or he come down, or I know we got together, and I'm pretty well sure it's my fault. I'm not sure, but, you know, we had a great year. It's 3rd in points for the AOL car, and guys did a great job all year long. And I sure appreciate y'all being here. TNT's done a great job this year as well, and we appreciate all the support.
Thanks. And Andy started 15th, and he's done for the day, Alan.
All right, thanks, Liz. And Robbie Cowart's car, it was engine failure that's taken him to the garage. Chase Montgomery has also taken his car to the garage with some smoke.
Appeared to be an engine problem.
Everything's good for Kerry Earnhardt right now. He's built a massive lead.
And Michael was talking about the NASCAR Busch Series cars, the NASCAR Winston Cup cars after a few laps, running something like 32-second laps. Kerry Earnhardt right now is running in the low 31 seconds. So I think these Hoosier tires do have a little bit more grip.
Yeah, and it's making the racing look different on the TV screen than it will tomorrow. I think you'll see a lot different race in the Cup race tomorrow.
7th place here, Jason Jarrett in the 67, Robert Burrows in the 53.
Robert's been fun to watch, man. He's tried the high side. He's been every which way trying to figure out where to make that number 53 stick. And Jason, of course, has just been real steady and solid all day long. Really an impressive run for Jason.
39 laps to go. Here in Atlanta, Kerry Earnhardt tops our leaderboard. The 2 car is Kerry Earnhardt. He is the leader of the ARCA Re Series season finale at the Atlanta Motor Speedway live on TNT. Let's check our Napa Field summary and a look at what's happened throughout the course of the race so far. 5 different leaders: Earnhardt, Frank Kimmel, Shane Meal, Rick Tennis, and Damon Lusk have all spent time out in front. 6 caution flags, most of them relatively minor, but that bottom number there, cars out. 41 starters, 17 are out of the race. The most recent, Mark Gibson, has taken his car to the garage with an engine failure.
We also lost Bill Conger just a few laps ago, another real strong car early in the race.
He's back on the track. He was on pit road for a green flag stop. Marty, what happened to him?
Well, the tailpipes came loose from the header, so they've had that problem and causing a bit of a vibration inside the car for Bill, so he decided to come down pit road. They changed all 4 tires, and they're going to try to live with it and see how long this can last.
That does make for a rattly ride, BP.
Yes, it does.
But Bill had a solid run, and that set him back somewhat. Napa, we keep America running.
I thought that name would be very near and dear to your heart.
I figured you'd get that in there somewhere on the end of one of these things.
Their corporate offices are here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was really nice coming off of a second-place performance last week in our Napa Auto Parts Chevy, coming to town.
And seeing all the Napa people.
Folks, yeah, for the Napa 500 tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, can we beat that horse any further?
I think he's pretty. We got him the finish line, I believe, Michael.
All right, next topic. 9 cars on the lead lap. There's Robert Burrows in the 53.
Right around the top again.
Liz Allison.
And Robert Burrows from Mississippi has been moving up through the pack today. And I want you to know this guy brought his own fan club. If you look up here at the top of his hauler in the garage area, all of those people there are his family, believe it or not. Now that's what you do. Take your fan club, your family on the road with you, Alan.
All right, count how many people are up there. I wonder what the pit pass costs this weekend.
More than he'll make, I venture to guess.
All right.
But I like to watch Robert. He's fun. He's on the gas. I want to see if this story continues to develop, but the last...
Oh, we got a car in the wall. Turn 1.
Against the wall. Back it down. He's probably going to come off.
Richard Mitchell.
Another solid run.
Yeah, he was running 6th.
Now that would appear to be a right front tire failure.
Mitchell, 34-year-old from Brewston Mills, West Virginia.
Listen. Did you hear him? They asked him if he was okay, and he said, it knocked the wind out of him. Barely could get it out that the wind was just knocked him. But
look at the angle that car's been crushed in at. That was a hard hit.
Hard hit. You can't hit here like you can't blow a right front tire to land and not hit hard. It's not possible.
It's too bad.
Emerson Newton-John had Dick Bear's car on pit road when that caution flew. Cost him a couple laps.
Mitchell had a 5th place finish at Talladega last race for this ARCA series. Again was in 6th place at the time of the crash. That has brought out the yellow for another time.
The one thing that I was going to say just before the caution was Stewart had began to consistently outrun Kerry. And that was the first real long run we've seen under green. There goes Richard. He finally got it out.
Wow.
Man.
So, 7th caution, 28 laps to go, and they come back around to the opening of the pit lane. Everybody's in.
Everybody get 4, and if Kerry Earnhardt gets the same matched up set of tires that he just got, boys, it is going to be over.
Now, Stewart
he proved on the short run he was dominant.
Stuart Kirby's had some problems on his pit stops.
Yes, he has. Just not been fast enough to keep that track position that Stuart Kirby has been able to get on the racetrack. Right now he's in 2nd spot, but we've seen him back up 3 or 4 spots every time he's made a pit stop.
Be closed.
Can't afford it here because he needs to stay on Kerry Earnhardt's back bumper if he's going to have a shot.
Got to have good stops here the last time.
The pit road is closed, so let's take a break. We'll come back for the stops. "27 laps to go as we come back to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the leaders come on to pit road. Critical final stops. Dave Burns.
And the leader, Kerry Earnhardt, comes in. No changes, 4 tires and fuel, and they will take a tearaway off the windshield to clear the view for Kerry. He hopes he gets out of here first and keeps the same view, which is no cars in front of him. Matt?
2nd place, Stuart Kirby will take on just 2 tires like he did on lap 20. He was asked whether he liked his car with a full load of fuel or a light load. He said, put some fuel in it. It feels better that way. And he beats the 2-car off pit road, Marty.
Series champ Frank Kimmel still too tight, up 2 rounds on the track bar, trying to loosen him up from the middle of the corner off. These will be 4 scuffed tires for Kimmel. He is running 240 on the water, a little bit hotter than he would like, but he does not think that's hurting the performance of the engine. He's off pit road.
2 tires on the 75.
Well, they didn't have much choice but to do that, try to get that track position, and see if they can do it and win it that way.
And if you watch those 2 teams fly over the wall to change tires, the Pennzoil guys that pit the Winston Cup car that Kenny Wallace drives are pitting the car. A bunch of DI guys are pitting that number 2 car. They flew around there and had that right side up. that fast. And the 75 guys didn't have that type of a stop going. So I think they made a real smart call there. Just get to, hope it works out that he can hold off, carry for a while, and if he can't, stay close enough to where if the tires wear out, he's better on the long run, maybe get him in.
Final sprint to the finish upcoming when we come back to Atlanta. "24 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the season finale for the ARCA Remax Series. Little pit strategy here on final stops. Let's put Stuart Kirby out in front of Kerry Earnhardt.
Yeah, Stewart didn't have a choice. These guys that are pitting this 2-car are professionals. That's what they do for a living. And his guys do a nice job, obviously, but just don't have as much experience as these cats in this Pennzoil uniforms do. They whacked out a 19-second stop, and that was a really fast stop.
And really, that's the difference, is professionals.
Exactly.
The Winston Cup guys, they train at it all week long, Dave.
And the guys pitting Kerry Earnhardt's car actually worked for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, but as backups. They could be a backup to the Winston Cup crew if anything happened. Now, Jason Threet, the guy they call Bama, he's the front tire changer. And the first 2 stops, or at least a couple of stops, they put the tire on, lug nuts popped off everywhere, and he couldn't tell why. I mean, they glued them up the same, they did everything the same, but they kept popping off. This time, all of them went on. There were high fives everywhere. They had a great pit stop, and even with 4 tires, got Kerry out quick.
Those guys practice pit stops every day, whether they're practicing a pit stop for the 15 or the 1 or the 8 or the backup crew. They got backups for every position.
Matt, how about the leader?
Well, Alan, all day today, Bob Schacht has preached to his driver, Stuart Kirby, be careful on your restarts. I feel like that's been the biggest hindrance they've had all day. And now he tells him, you are the leader. You will set the pace. Just don't jump the green. I will tell you when the green comes out and when to jump in the gas.
See Damon Lusk in the 22 car on the inside of the leader. He is 1 lap down in the 9th position. And there's the Emerson Newton-John in that green and white 35.
So Kirby's the leader. Kerry Earnhardt is 2nd. Shane Meal 3rd. Frank Kimmel is 4th. And Jason Jarrett is 5th. 23 laps to go. The leader with just 2 tires on his pit stop.
This is what you call a tough row to hoe.
Yes.
Kerry was faster when they both had 4, so you're pretty sure he's going to be faster when he has 4 and the other guy only has 2. But Stewart's been really good all day. We'll see if he can get him the lead here on the restart.
Damon Lusk in that 22 trying to stay on the lead lap if he can get by the 75. Kerry Earnhardt kind of giving him room.
Yes, it could be big if the 75 can get the 22 stuck between he and Kerry.
At 46, Kimmel has been able to get by the 55 car, Shane Meal, and take over 3rd. And he's challenged for 2nd right now.
He's not giving anybody any slack. And here comes Jason Jarrett, the purple car. Haven't talked about him much all day, except that his car wasn't handling well.
The first 7 cars all lined up there going at each other.
That was Bob Schacht. On Stuart Kirby's radio, the team owner.
It's getting
by a car link right there. And a boy.
It's getting down to that time of day, Alan.
Here comes Earnhardt looking low.
Man, did you see that 2 car come down the back straightaway?
There's Bob Schacht, veteran owner of that 75 car himself. Very successful driver in this ARCA Remax Series over the years.
He and Stuart Kirby, this young man that's driving this car, would really love to get...
what you're doing, buddy. He's going to get us.
Oh, he's coming down.
No thunder, no thunder, no thunder, no thunder. You're clear, clear. Pull away.
They'd really love to get something going next year, but right now, like a lot of teams, they don't have anything. And
pass you on the outside.
This could be Stuart Kirby's final race in this car.
You heard Schacht say, he can't pass you on the outside, protect the bottom.
But it appears as if that car's starting to push up off turn 2 a little bit, allowing Kerry to make a run on him as the exit turn 2. That's how he got up beside him last time.
They pulled away from third place Frank Kimmel by a second.
Here we go. Kerry Earnhardt is there. Goodbye.
18 to go. Kerry Earnhardt back out in front.
Kerry's car just turns. See right there, Benny?
Yeah.
It just turns up off those corners. Stewart struggles with the car skating across the track.
And see, that's what left sides will help you do. Right in the middle of the corner, those fresh lefts helps that car turn.
He's terrible in traffic. Do the best you can, buddy.
Really got to hand Kerry Earnhardt a lot of credit, though. He's been able to tell those guys all day long what he needs to do to that car. We've seen the car get better all day long, and that's just because he's sitting in that seat telling the guys what he needs for them to do in order to make him get around the turns better. And he is right here at the end when you obviously want to be.
See that sponsorship on the side of Kerry Earnhardt's car? Sources tell me that we can expect an announcement in the very near future, maybe during Winston Cup Week in New York, about a possible NASCAR Busch Series program for Kerry Earnhardt in 2002.
I know Kerry's really excited about next year. He's got a lot of good things happening for him, and his performance today certainly helps all that.
Speaking of performances today, as we look at Frank Kimmel and Shane Neal, Shane's done an excellent job.
They got a terrific job. Been very impressed. This is the first time I've had a chance to see Shane Neal drive, and I've been very impressed.
Couldn't ask for much more out of him, could you? In only his second ARCA attempt, to be able to sit here and run solidly in the top 5 all day long and just learn so much. You know, he's come from the Goodies Dash Series. Those cars are tremendously different than the big stock cars that he's racing here today, but yet he's been able to adapt to it, racing right there with the 2001 ARCA champion, Frank Kimmel, and he's heating him up right here, coming up underneath of him for the 3rd spot.
I won't drive in on the outside. Just leave it there. There you go. You're fine. You're fine. Now you got him where you want him. Now you got him where you want him. Scoot by. Clear high. Perfect.
Listen to his daddy, man. Is that big or what? Steve's driving it with him. He's not driving it for him. He's driving it with him.
And he's probably smiling from ear to ear.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Steve is.
So thankful that young man has a father that is able to mentor him and just oversee his whole career.
Well, did you hear the pride in his voice when he said, perfect?
I like when he said, don't drive it in there, he'll slide up. There he goes, there he goes. There you got it, now you got it. That's just fun to listen to, man.
So Shane Neal up to 3rd spot here with 12 laps to go. Ed Barrier and Tim Steele racing for 6th place. This was 1 lap ago. Check it out.
Tim Steele, the red car on the bottom, and
golly.
They say that 8 tires work better than 2, and that was a classic example.
Did Ed let him get by with that?
Looks that way.
Didn't have much choice. Probably had to catch his breath. Dave?
Well, Ed's a pretty good guy, and this is his day. Remember, earlier this year, he helped NASCAR Busch Series champion Kevin Harvick twice. In St. Louis, he practiced the car for him because Kevin had a Winston Cup obligation. And in Pikes Peak, he actually practiced and qualified the car for Kevin. So this is Ed's day. He didn't get to race those days, but he does this day, currently staying in the top 10, running 7th, guys.
Solid day for Barrier. Tim Steele, maybe not the performance we expected out of him. 3-time winner in ARCA competition here in Atlanta.
There you saw a good shot of Ed Barrier widening the racetrack out a little bit, going up top, trying that out.
And let's talk about Frank Kimmel, 2001 ARCA Series champion. What a season he's had. Listen to some of these stats. In 24 races coming into today, 10 wins, 11 poles, 20 top 5 finishes. He's won 5 of the last 8 races. And he is now a 3-time ARCA champion, twice in a row. Since 1997, he's finished no worse than 2nd in ARCA points. Marty?
And Alan, today they have just not had it. They're running in 4th right now, but the car has been tight. They've made 6 separate adjustments to this car, trying to loosen it up, and nothing's worked today for these guys. So I think Bill Kimmel, when he gets his car home, will kind of dissect it a little bit, try and find out why none of the adjustments worked for Frank Kimmel today, because they have been tight and stayed tight all day long.
Kimmel and the other top finishers in the ARCA points to be recognized at their series banquet in Cincinnati in 3 weeks.
Shane Neal's heating heating the 75 car up. Coming after him, those 4 tires that Shane have got are probably a little bit of an advantage over what Stuart Kirby's riding on right now, Benny.
I would think that you're exactly right, Michael, and that probably might make a big difference before this thing is over. We see almost 8 laps to go, but that's a long time.
Kerry Earnhardt 4 3/4 seconds out ahead of this race for second place.
And pulling away in convincing fashion. That car was sitting in my shop all week. They work on it right out of the Napa Auto Parts shop that we work on our cars in.
Look at the gap. Kerry Earnhardt back to Stuart Kirby.
I'm sure all the crew chiefs from the Winston Cup teams will be down there with the guys that worked on the ARCA car today to see what kind of setup they had, what they thought it did. Even though the tires are different, there's still some things that they'll want to know about that race car that could possibly wind up in our cars tomorrow. What do you say, Benny? He's going to get him, Benny?
I think he is.
I do, too.
We're talking about the 55 beating the 75.
Yeah. Kirby is struggling as much as he has all day, so.
Again, the 2-tire stop, I think, was the only chance that he had to win. Yep. But in the long run, it obviously was not exactly the right choice.
Shane's able just to hug the bottom. You saw him right there make up 2 or 3 car lengths just by being right on the white line. Let's hear what Steve has to say about
He's out of tires. He came back to us. Remember, we didn't outrun him.
Starting to warm him up a little bit to the idea of passing this guy.
All right, let's see what he can do with it now. He's got the run on him off turn 2.
Starting to lay a little groundwork.
Kirby's had trouble holding his car low in 3. Looked like he kept it right on the bottom that time.
No, but it's going to push up off. See right there, Alan, just a car width difference. The 55 able to stay down. What a good battle, though.
And Frank Kimmel is about to catch this group.
As wide as you want it. He's still 2 car lengths behind you.
That's Stuart Kirby's spotter.
Now Shane's getting in a bit of a pickle here. The longer he waits to pass the 75, the more chance the 46 has to catch him. Shane's kind of moved up to the middle of the track right there. He looked real good on the bottom earlier. I don't know why he's just trying a different line to figure out a way to get around the 75, I guess.
Shane Meals caught him, but he hasn't been able to pass him yet. And again, all this going on now some 5 3/4 seconds behind Kerry Earnhardt, the leader.
Keep digging. Just keep digging. When I get to him.
Too tight when I get to him.
Yep.
I think that explains why he's up off the bottom of the racetrack, did he?
Yep.
Here he goes. He's got a good run on him now.
That's a run right there. That's a run. That's a run.
Second place.
Stay in there. He ain't going to drive it in on the outside. Just stay in there. Stay in there. Stay in there, Shane. You're fine. Just run your line.
There he goes.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Clear high. Him and Kimmel are racing behind you.
Shane Meal to second.
All right.
Scared me.
Nobody's coming.
And Frank Kimmel is blowing up. Some smoke in the back of the 46 car. And Robert Barrows is on pit road.
Oh, no. Robert had such a good day.
Now for Olivia up here.
Uh-oh, you learned about Olivia.
That's cruel, Steve.
That's not nice.
Boom.
2 laps to go.
Blowing up or has blown up behind you. You got about 8 car lengths on him, Shane. You're fine.
Kerry Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt's oldest son, kind of got set back in his racing career. He had a family at a rather young age and properly chose to concentrate on raising his family. Now that his family is coming along, he's set back on building his racing career once again. And it's coming along nicely for him. A tough start when he got into the NASCAR Busch Series a couple of years ago. Had some problems wrecking race cars. Got set back from that, but now with the help of first his father and now Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, is trying to rebuild a career. He's looking for his 3rd victory in 5 tries in 2001. Checkered flag is up for Kerry Earnhardt. He wins here in Atlanta.
Good job, Kerry. Good job.
Shane Meal comes down for second, and Frank Kimmel closes out a championship season with a 3rd place run in the season finale. Great day for Kerry Earnhardt.
Oh, what a wonderful day for him. Not like I said earlier, he didn't have his car the way he wanted it earlier. He's getting outrun, and he's shown the intelligence and the smarts to sit there and ride in that race car and report to these guys on the pit road what he needed them to do, what he needed to feel out of the car to make it better. And at the end of the race, he was on it. His lap times were fast. I mean, he was hauling at the end of the race, and that's real impressive.
Dave Burns.
And I'm standing by with Vic Radici, the guy who made those calls, Michael, with Kerry Earnhardt. Tell us about getting the car right for Kerry throughout the day.
Well, I had a lot of help. We get the whole DEI crew behind us. Dave Charpentier, he's a key element to this team. He's engineer for the one car and the chief engineer at DEI. Without his support and help, we couldn't make this possible. Everybody at DEI, the engine shop, the fabricators, all the pit stop guys, they worked their heart out to help Kerry and help me, and that makes it all come together.
Vic, how important was this after the tough weekend in Charlotte?
I'll tell you, this is a good thing for Kerry and DEI after the Charlotte race and the tragedy that happened there. It was just unfortunate, and our hearts go out to the Alexander family. But for Kerry going into 2002, this is big momentum for him, and this is what we needed.
All right, so Kerry, you might say the other Earnhardt brother wins pork, the other white meat, 400, guys.
All right, Dave. Dave referring to the end of the race in Charlotte back in October. Kerry racing for the win with Blaise Alexander. The cars made contact, and in the ensuing crash, Blaise Alexander lost his life. Kerry took it very hard. But he's won today, and one he can be happy with. Kerry Earnhardt has scored the victory, and he's going to give a start-finish line salute to this Atlanta crowd. We'll be right back. Back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Kerry Earnhardt has won the season finale for the ARCA Re Series, just making his way into the winner's circle. Let's check the top finishers on the day. Earnhardt winning by 6.3 seconds over a very impressive Shane Meal.
I was very impressed with the job that Meal did. Frank Kimmel lost some power there at the end, finished third. Stuart Kirby, another great run for him.
Yeah, just a really great race. These guys were all competitive, all took turns near the front of the pack, all overcame pit road problems to get up to be a part of the story at the end of the race. So just a lot of fun to watch the ARCA cars race today.
Let's go to the MBNA winner's circle and hear from Kerry Earnhardt.
Well, he started third today. I don't think he was any worse than fifth as he adjusts his hat. It's like a DEI reunion. Only person we're missing, Michael Waltrip, who's up in the booth. Come on down here, Mikey. All the Bud guys, all the Pennzoil guys, as Kerry's going to get out, and I believe there's going to be a shower. Oh, he avoids the shower. No, he doesn't. There's the shower. I am, however, avoiding the shower. Kiss from his wife. Kerry, talk us through the pass there at the end on Stuart Kirby. I know it wasn't easy, but did you know 4 tires would win out over 2 at the end?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anywhere you go, you always take 4 with the pit crew we have today. Not putting anybody bad on the other teams or anything. They're doing an outstanding good job with Stuart Kirby and Frank Kimmel. But, you know, we got these guys, we work hard every day and train, and, you know, we knew we could beat them in the pits, and Stuart had to take 2, you know. So we come out, and it was a tough fight, but I finally took the lead away from him and never looked back. I knew once we got out front, we were faster than him, we'd be gone. So that's what I was wanting, to get way out front.
Boy, in the middle run, the car just did not look good. But Michael said what he was most impressed with today was your ability to tell the crew what they needed to do to fix the car and make it better.
Yeah, I've came a long ways in that, you know, with Dad on the radio with me. And, you know, Michael's Bush guys, I've run the Aaron's Dream Machine a few Bush races this year, and they helped me out a lot with Bobby Kennedy and all the guys. And, you know, we're moving on to some other things next year, running a full season in a certain series, and we're releasing that the 29th of this month. So we're all excited, man. I tell you, this Dell Earnhardt Incorporated Diamond Cut Chevrolet Monte Carlo, it was awesome today. And yeah, I just want to thank the fans and all the fans. And, you know, it's great. This one's for Blaise Alexander. You know, he's a great friend in my life. And, you know, I wanted to dedicate the Charlotte race, but you know, that race was his, and he's getting that trophy, and it's going in wherever his parents want it. So, you know, this is for him, and, you know, we're here celebrating life of Blaze Alexander, and sure have missed him.
You won Charlotte under some very difficult circumstances of which you just spoke. Does this help heal the wounds at all, Kerry?
No, it don't. You know, like I said, Blaze won that race, and he's going to have the trophy wherever they like to have it. But you know, this is a great tribute to all the guys and everything. But like I said, this is in memory of Blaze Alexander, and it's all his.
All right, 3 wins in your last 3 ARCA starts. Best thing about winning the Pork 400, you get some free pork over there. They're cutting it for you. All right, Kerry, go grab some. Alan.
All right, Marty, thanks. Kerry Earnhardt, we saw when we went to the commercial break, was standing on top of his car at the start-finish line. He was greeted there by a plethora of well-wishers.
You the man, brother. You the man.
Thank you. How about them Diamond Cat jeans?
Yes, sir. You the man, brother. Way to go. Good job.
Had a little receiving line going on the start-finish line. Kerry Earnhardt has won here in Atlanta today. You know, they keep spraying that stuff around there in Victory Lane. They're not going to have anything left for later. Kerry Earnhardt has won today the ARCA Remax Series season finale. Meantime, let's check with some of the other top finishers. Here's Matt Yoakum.
And Alan Shane Meals all smiles. His mom's in tears, and your dad's not down here yet, but this has got to be a huge, huge confidence booster for you.
Yeah, it's a huge confidence booster, I guess you'd say. But I just want to thank everybody with the Army and all. It was really easy with them and IMI and MyTail and Gould's Pumps and everything like that. They gave me the opportunity to do this, and it was really a whole lot of fun. I hope I get to do it again.
Kenny Wallace, your teammate next year, came on the radio, congratulated you, and told you you're going to do some TV, and then what'd you say?
He had to ask. I had to make sure I knew who all I was going to thank and all that stuff. So he get me under control because I was so excited. So he knows what to do. He's been doing it long enough. I guess him and Michael Waltrip are probably the best 2 personalities, so there ain't nobody to learn from better.
Well, great day to learn. He finishes second today in Atlanta.
Congratulations, Michael.
What about that dude, man? He is on top of it.
All right, go, Dave.
All right, well, we got one of those young guys taken care of. Now, let's take care of one of those guys who's over 30, Frank Kimmel, who is an old guy. Well, I don't want to go that way, but you are the champion again this year. You clinched already. Couldn't pull off your 11th win of the season, though. Why wasn't the car good, Frank?
Oh, it was great at the beginning. The Advanced Auto Parts Pork Ford was just as dominant as it has been all year, and Kerry was having a little trouble, and we got really tight all through the race. It kept getting tighter and tighter and just couldn't fix it. We kept working on it. We get a little better, then it started getting tight again, and just didn't have anything for him at the end, and overheated a little bit there at the end, got a little too much rubber up on the front grille, and motor started going south, so we just salvaged a good place, third place finish out of a pretty decent day.
We saw those whiffs of smoke there. It was just overheating there at the end?
Yeah, she was steaming out the pipe pretty good, and you know, you hate that because you know you're hurting the motor, and that's the best motor we've ever had. Joe Ryan and the entire guys up at the Ryan Competition Ninjas did a super job, and that's the first time all year that I've been able to turn left and drive past Kerry, and you know, normally he just pulls right back down in front of me and waves at me and kind of taunts me a little bit. So it was a fun day at the beginning, but we'll get it better. We'll get it good at the end.
Well, that could be trouble for the competition next year, guys. He won this year's championship by over 1,100 points, and if his motors are that much better next year, yikes.
Yeah. Frank Kimmel, 2001 ARCA Remax Series champ. Now the full field results of today's Pork the Other White Meat 400.
Hey, I thought I was going to say that name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Tim Steele wound up finishing 5th.
11th through 20th in the Pork the Other White Meat 400.
Very good. Emerson Newton-John finished in 17th.
Had an unscheduled pit stop. I think he could have been a part of the top 15. So Dick Bear and his guys ought to be real proud of the job they did for Emerson. And welcome to the South and part of the stock car racing world, Emerson.
Andy Belmont had the problems that knocked him out in the AOL car. Mark Gibson, same thing. Engine, Justin Labonte. Engine, the kid, Shelby Howard, the 64 car.
Engine.
Yep.
And then some of those guys at the bottom didn't quite get up to speed, and ARCA decided it'd be best for them and everybody else if they parked them.
We'll come back with more post-race coverage in a minute. Fans of the Atlanta Motor Speedway saw a great race today for the ARCA Remax Series. Looking down on this massive 1.5-mile track from the Budweiser.com airship. Brought to you by NASCAR's official beer, Budweiser. Race fans, this Bud's for you. Marty Snyder.
Well, Alan, Tim still finishes 5th, and I listened on your radio. At one point you were loose, one point you were tight. Did you ever get it to where you liked the car, actually?
You know, I tell you what, I've won races and haven't worked as hard as what we did to finish this 5th today. You know, it's no, if it would have been another 100 miles longer, I think we would have got it, because he started doing things, and once we started thinking backwards of what we were supposed to be doing, it started working better and better. But you know, all in all, it's a good day for us.
That barrier comes in and gives a push.
I don't know what that was for, do you?
He was just being nice, I think.
Yeah. You know, it's just, I'm glad to come here. Ever since they changed Atlanta Speedway, the place hasn't been real good to me. I've been here this is the 4th time I've been here, but 3 times previous to this. I've been here 3 times, crashed 3 times, and got hurt 3 times. So to come out here, walking around smiling, that's like a win for us, I'll tell you that much.
They did pretty good today, and they finished the season with 6 straight top 5s, Matt.
Kirby takes home a 4th place finish, but 2 tires. Did you need the 4?
Oh, most definitely. We took 2 tires there at the beginning, about the first quarter of the race, and the car was just perfect with 2 tires. I couldn't ask for a better car. I haven't had a car drive that good all year long, and you know, we decided to do it. The track got a little greasy there at the end. We took the 2 tires, and left side tires just didn't hold me down to the bottom, getting into the center. So you know, that's part of it. We took a gamble, tried to win a race, and you know, we came out with a 4th place finish, so that's pretty good for us.
Another top 5 for Stuart Kirby, trying to lock down a sponsor for next season. So Liz?
And Jason Jarrett finished 6th today. Jason, great run today, great year.
I tell you what, ML Motorsports, Mary Louise Miller, they took a chance on me at the first of the year, and we turned it into something that I don't even think that I expected. We're going to finish 2nd in the points. We'll probably win Rookie of the Year. But it was just a fun day to win the or to end the season. Everything went good. We had great pit stops. The guys had to make a lot of changes, but for Damon RVs and Biomet and Coca-Cola and just all the other sponsors and my family that back home, and my mom and everybody back home that had to sit there and watch it all day, and I know it's kind of nerve-wracking for her. Had a lot of friends and family here, and it's just a fun way to end the year. And I've enjoyed running the ARCA Re series.
It's a great year for these guys, Alan.
All right, thanks, Liz. Jason Jarrett, 6th place finish today. Final thoughts and a look ahead to tomorrow's Winston Cup race after this. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, NASCAR on NBC brings you the Napa 500 season finale from Atlanta. Bill Weber sits down with Jeff Gordon to discuss his drive for a 4th NASCAR Winston Cup Series championship. We'll hear about the husband and wife, Sean and Tara Parker, and the emotional year that they've had. We've documented that story well through the season. The 3-race show begins at noon Eastern Time. Tomorrow, the Napa 500, NASCAR on NBC. Michael Waltrip's been kind enough to sit in for Wally, who will be back with us tomorrow. You've got a pretty good little race car, you think, for tomorrow's race, huh?
Yeah, it's going to work really well. I'm real happy with the way our Napa Auto Parts Chevy ran in practice today. It's an interesting track to get a hold of these days with the tires the way they are, and so I think you guys will be able to report on tire strategy, 2 tires, 4 tires. There'll be a lot of stories played out, especially the racing line that you'll see tomorrow. There'll be guys, Ricky Craven, everybody talks about me going up there in a hurry. Ricky Craven will beat me up there. He'll go right around the top in a hurry and always runs real well up there.
It looked like the day in today's last practice session, the final practice session, that Tony Stewart is dedicated to the bottom of the racetrack. He's just going to make his car run on the bottom, but some guys are going to try both top and bottom.
Well, at Rockingham, that's where my car wanted to be. I could run right around the bottom, never went up top one time. That's the easy way around. That's the best way to go, right on the bottom. But just so many times, it's hard to get a hold of the bottom of this racetrack. Some other guy will go around you on the top, and you'll say, I better go up there and check that out. So
Michael,
Tony might have to do that.
After what happened at Homestead during the race on pit road last Sunday, there'll be lots of discussion about that. Has been all weekend, but will be, I'm sure, in the drivers' meeting tomorrow. Your thoughts on that and what can be done in terms of safety tomorrow to keep it from happening again?
This pit road is safer, in my opinion, than the one we were at Homestead. There's not a wall along the outside of this pit road, so you're able to swing out, and if somebody comes out, you can go out into the grass. That wall at Homestead keeps everybody hemmed together, so that'll lead to safer pit stops just because of this pit road configuration today. The helmets that guys are going to wear, I think NASCAR maybe should step in. I didn't think they should with the Hans device or the things the drivers wore because it didn't hamper your ability to drive the car. But you put a helmet on one crew, it's going to make them probably a little slower than another crew. You make them all wear them, nobody will know a difference. So the helmets need to develop, maybe a bigger eye open so their peripheral vision is good coming in and out of the pits. Hopefully we'll see some of that in the future too.
do you think, BP?
Well, how many teams? Well, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay.
Later subject.
Later subject. All right. Well, that's tomorrow at noon Eastern time. NASCAR on NBC with the Napa 500 from here in Atlanta. Kerry Earnhardt has won the ARCA Series season finale.